We are live.
Carry it for a second. I'm gonna copy the link and paste it to Twitter. Good job carrying it for a little bit. Appreciate it.
Oh, you want me to carry? I thought you said be quiet for a little bit.
No, I said carry it for a little bit.
Oh, let's see what's going on today. We're going to put AI in its place. We're going to win this fight right here and now. We're going to pour soda water all over the top of our computers. I'm going to throw my Epson printer out the fucking window. No more Alexa music in this house. It's over, dude. It's time to go.
All right, tweet it up.
Who's going to be the first New York Times? We're both New York Times best-selling cartoonists, right?
Correctamundo.
When is the AI going to make the New York Times bestsellers list? That's the question.
Within, just for novelty, there's going to be some fucking dork out there that's going to do it, and the media is going to get behind it and act like it's the coolest thing, not knowing they're summoning their own demise. Right? Like newsrooms are facing massive layoffs because they ran Trump out of office and offline, and their new call to arms is to ignore him totally. Which, by the way, they failed miserably with the Trump trading cards because they thought it was the stupidest, most boomer cringe thing ever, and they
It's
thought
pretty.
that they would
It's
break
pretty.
their rule.
Those I saw one of those cards. They look terrible.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're so terrible.
They
They're
look
so
terrible. They're
stupid
abysmal.
that I love it, dude. It's definitely so terrible. It's cool. And my theory is he knows it's cringe, and he knows it's sold out. That's just a weapon. So it's one of the you see it a lot, right? Like we're gonna talk politics for like 2 seconds here. It's kind of like with Fetterman up in Pennsylvania, clearly mentally compromised.
Is
Uh,
he? Is he mentally compromised,
dude,
or is he just
he's the AI candidate, dude. He has AI do the talking for him. He just tries to read it. You didn't know that?
No, I mean, but does that mean his brain's not working behind the eyes? Is there life behind the eyes?
Well, I
Is
mean,
all
look
I'm
at that.
asking.
Look at that, man. All right. I mean, if you like, I'm just saying, clearly there's a better candidate out there than him, right?
I don't know about. I mean, I don't know Pennsylvania politics. I don't know if they voted him in. They must like the guy. I don't presume I know more than other people, especially other people out of my state, much less my community, my neighborhood. So
Yeah,
maybe he's right for them. You never know.
I agree. I mean, if you vote the guy, if you vote in a stroke victim, that's right for you. I agree.
Oh, there's a lot of stroke victims that just come back to normal. He's probably just on the. He's just on the mend, dude. Well, like when
It's
that was
worth
when that was going
the
on with.
risk. It's worth the risk.
I didn't really follow it closely, but my wife saw the thing and saw one of the debates, and it was like she did say like, why are these our candidates? Like, why is there like
A TV
she comes
doctor.
from like upper middle class. I'm lower middle class, but she's yeah. Why is it a fucking TB doctor that's selling you turmeric pills, or a guy with where some dude who hasn't really worked in his whole life with tattoo sleeves and suffering from a stroke? Like, why were those our two options? Why can't it just be like a good stand up
Right.
woman or
Well,
man?
that was my point. It was a humiliation tactic on the masses. That's them humiliating us. They're letting you know that they'll put in anybody they want to put in. You ain't gonna do a fucking thing about it. That's what that was. And I think this the Trump trading cards is him saying, yeah, guess what, haters? You don't want to talk about me? Well, I'm gonna put out something so stupid that you're gonna talk about it just to make fun of me. And oh, by the way, it's gonna sell out. Get wrecked. He made like $4.5 million off that bullshit, dude.
It's why wasn't it a physical trading card? That's what I don't understand. I don't like that it wasn't
Brother,
physical.
brother,
That
I
that
don't.
that's annoying.
Well, I've seen some speculation online. Now I don't know how much you know about the blockchain, but Um,
I don't know.
it,
I
it's
only thing
it,
I
it
know
was
about
an
the
it's an
blockchain is that
attempt to kick off.
wait,
What I'm trying to tell
well,
you what it is.
will you bring up blockchain? Look, we got to go. You can't just bring up something that the audience might not know about. The only thing I know about blockchain is if I use a blockchain, then I am banned from drawing. I'm banned from my livelihood in my industry. That's all I know. I know that people hate the blockchain in comic books. Whatever it is, I am
Oh, I forgot.
anti-blockchain.
Yeah, I forgot. They hated the NFT thing. They hated the
Oh
NFT
yeah,
thing more than they hate the AI, which the AI was there that whole time on its way up. But there's no foresight there. It
we
wasn't a problem until it was like a legit problem. Until it's good enough to smoke them, then they worry about it. It's like, no, dude, you might should have
can
thought
we get
about
out
this
of
before.
can we get out of let's not talk about politics. Let's just go right in the NF or the all the AI stuff. Let's just do that. I like that better. Let's jump right into AI. My position is that I don't care about AI. That I don't know how they. If you brand yourself as someone who's a comic book artist who's learned this skill for 20 years or 10 years or went to school for it and developed your craft and you draw by hand, then it's like it's human made, handmade craft. That is gonna I think that's the last little stronghold that is almost impenetrable, right? It's like a fortress. So maybe,
What do you
or
mean the handmade part? Like the materials used?
man-made, like, hey, this is made in Italy, this is made here, this is made there, this is American made, this is hand drawn. Like I can do this in front of you. I can show a camera of me drawing it. I'll show you my roughs. I'll show you it. Like this is made by human hands, right? And I think a lot of people don't just work digitally now, right? So they are now more. Those people are more susceptible to be taken over because a lot of their stuff has that same polish. The AI is reading their work, reading their keystrokes. You know, when they developed this, you mentioned this a long time ago, but when Photoshop all went online essentially, and you couldn't use your CS5 anymore. You had to pay $20 a month, and every time you cut on your computer, it's
They
uploading.
wanted it cloud based because you were training their AI that they're working. See, they haven't even released
Correct,
the
correct, correct.
motherfucker.
So
They got the
correct.
motherfucker in the works over there, supposedly.
So the digital. So what I'm saying is everyone working digitally. There's a language to the art. That's essentially the visual language that is more digital. This looks hand drawn. This looks digital. You can blur the lines a little bit, but they've essentially trained digital artists have trained the AI in their style, right? And it's more prevalent now, and so therefore they're more susceptible to being taken over. But this thing isn't going to draw. It's not human. It's not going to be able to draw by hand. And I sell my original art. That's half my income, right?
Well,
So
let me tell you this. So
I'm not worried about that.
I was thinking in bed the other night because we had like a big long talk with some buds. Um, so I've worked in printing a while, and I got to thinking about it. You can take your AI art, take it into Illustrator, convert it to vector, and print it out on a vinyl cutter. Only you because they can all use a pen instead of the cutter. So it's how they do giant blueprints for construction. And I could I could do the Kim Jong Gi AI art, stick me a Pentel pocket into the holder on the vinyl cutter, and that thing is gonna slice back and forth and make me a Kim Jong Gi looking, handmade looking, and nobody will ever know, dude.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be gimmicks, but again, I'm not worried about it. And then if you add story to it, I know AI is writing stories too. I'm not stressed. And I'll tell you, there's some benefits too. If you've been stressed out as a professional, like people in comics have a hard time breaking into comics. It's really hard, and so that's a deterrent in itself. Now these people that their skill set isn't quite they'll blame the industry or other things, but really there's a merit level where you will become undeniable, right? Where you will get hired because you are good enough, right?
Yes.
But they're not there yet. But we always think we're there, but we're not always quite there yet, right? Especially when you're trying to break in, you feel like you're being held back. Okay, how many of those people are going to see this AI and be like, well, what's the point of me even trying anymore? This AI can do it. So what they're going to do is either use the AI themselves or quit. Well, use the AI self, so you quit, you're done. If you use the AI yourself, you're done because you're just going to clump yourself into what everyone else, every grandma on the planet can type in 2 seconds and get. So you've not differentiated yourself from the pack. If you're going to make work, it's maybe the industry's a little sadder because it's more
I'm wondering
artisan,
what the
you know?
true skill is. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of skill, right, in the AI prompting dudes.
Yeah, it's Googling. Like if you can Google, if you can Google the right words, it'll split out the right thing. You got to caress that machine to get it to produce what you want. That's what we did the other night when we were up with some buddies, and they one of them was playing around with it, but was a long time subscriber to it and was doing the beta test and
Long
everything.
time subscriber.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like doing these prompts, and he was breathing hard and heavy, like when I got to redraw a head. When I was like, put cybernetic on there, put this on there, and he was having a hissy fit, a panic attack, and it was taking him all of about 15 seconds to watch this computer generate it out. But
Right.
he had developed all the stress of a comic book artist of 30 years.
Which was hilarious, by the way.
I don't know. I don't see it. I see it's going to wash people out. I think maybe your big two books might maybe get more generic. I know that some of these editors are saying they're going to hold the line, and one of these big editors came out and said they
They're
were
going
going
to
to
do
blackball
exactly what the
anyone
fucking
using it.
company tells them to do, dude. That's what they're
They
going
they
to
will
do.
do what the money, like the money, the monetary, the capitalism will dictate it, because I think capitalism is somewhat reflective of the real world when it's done in the purest sense, not in the all the ways it can be
Gordon
corrupted.
Goodbrother says he thinks they killed Kim Chung Gi on purpose.
Dude, they brought him back in 3 days,
All of
dude.
a
They brought
sudden,
him back
these
in
like
3 days.
really rich AI companies are just going to go out and start assassinating all the artists. There's you a story right there. There's you a comic. Gordon Goodbrother is a natural writer. Ideas for days.
So for me, I ain't scared, and I love drawing, man. Like drawing's what I want to do. I've seen a lot of people get excited about this privately, but I'm like, don't you want to draw? Don't you want to build the characters and build the worlds and make the emotions, and also the daily challenge of trying to beat yourself and draw better and seeing your progress? Like, you want that stolen from you? Then what are you doing? Like you said, if you're going to get the AI to 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 draw your stories, why not get the new AI that's writing stories? When it might be rudimentary right now, but in a year it's going to be writing full paragraphs, full chapters, full novels. You can get it to generate original novels. It can read every book that ever was written and every style and ever written, and everything that sold well, which probably told you it was probably pretty good over time. It's going to take all those attributes and all those things that make it human. It's going to keep learning. It's not going to stop learning what it is to put the right note in, the right reflective thought to ground the character. There's a mechanics to it that's going to happen, that it's going to be able to glean over time, and it'll get more human in what it's producing. So now you can just have it written for you too, and don't learn the craft of writing for 20, 30 years. Don't learn what it is to reflect on your own personal life
Yeah, I
experiences
mean,
and
I
put
don't
that
know.
on the page. And then get it to draw it for you. And then what you're doing now is you're running a company where you're essentially letting the computers make the product, and now you are a mailman. You are stapling and you are mailing stuff out to your customers. So you are now the conduit for the machine to get. And so what you turn yourself into a mailman? Is that what you want to be? You must hate drawing then. You know what I mean? And I ain't no mailman. Anyone who
I
knows
think
anything
that's the
about me
main
knows I
thing.
can't
That
mail
would be
anything.
my first question is, I mean, if you're a writer, do you like writing? Well, because that's not writing. If you're an artist and you like drawing or painting or whatever, then what are you doing over there doing that?
But it looks cool. I'll tell you what, dude. The print, the print wall people who already use like crazy Photoshop
Yeah,
stuff and trace other people's stuff.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
those are
Those
about to
guys.
be mega at those shows, bro. Those are about to be mega because you can just print this stuff out on a Geely print or something. So yeah, those guys are about to get rich.
Geely. Giclay.
You trying to say I've been saying it wrong for my whole life?
No, that's just how I say. I'm probably in the wrong.
Yeah, you said it kind of weak.
Giclay. That's my art education.
Yeah, so I ain't scared of it. Would I prefer it not exist? Probably. Like the whole grind of the whole enjoyment of art is getting better and personal improvement. I think that's the point of life in general. New spiritualism, new new working on yourself. You feel down when you're not doing that stuff. Do you want that stolen from you? Like, and then if everyone's equal, then nobody's equal. That's like a
We've
truth,
had 2 or 3
right?
talks, off air, so to speak. I mean, our take is if you want it stolen from you, then let it steal it from you. I'm not gonna let it steal it from you.
I know all is mine, so if I don't worry about it, it don't exist in my world. If you want to hire a robot, hire a robot. I actually don't care, dude. Like, it doesn't even bother me. I just go back to Mr. T on this one. I pity the fool who fires that thing up.
Well, it bothers me in the grand scheme of things because I know what the technocrats have written and what they have in plan long term. So
So much of art, like this is the scary part. If you want to get into like the strangeness of it,
yeah,
so much of art is the economy, right? Like everyone getting the teaching certificates, everyone learning the craft starting in preschool, everyone getting the programs and mastering these high-end programs and paying monthly for these programs, learning the skill set, buying the paper, the people producing the paper, the people producing your pens. Okay, well, if you're going to wash out 30, 40, 50% of that over time, that's going to be a huge collapse.
that's
Like
the foresight people don't see, right? So there goes your art stores. That's jobs. Uh, Obviously, the manufacturing of all the art products, the paper. Then, you know, because those paper manufacturers are making less money than they transfer that cost over into other papers that haven't necessarily been affected yet. So, yeah, dude, it's like cascading effect all around.
your drafting tape, your art ed, you can't even 1% of people can make a living when they get these art degrees from college. 1%. And it's
I
probably
got
less than
I
that.
got one. I'm a
So
New York Times bestseller, and I am just barely could say I'm making a living. You know, it's been a struggle, brother. But here I am.
I just look at it like I'm living. I get to do what I want and I'm alive, so I'm good. I ain't stressed about all that. I don't know. I just think it's sad for the like I have an art education degree and that's going to wash out. Like how can someone conceivably write like the guy I feel the saddest for, the guys who render in these programs, all of your character designers for video games. Let's say you're going into your second year in your 4 or 5 year degree
Yeah, it's
to be
clear
a
that
top end.
all the art so far is really like that video game concept art influence based.
Because that's the most that's out there and the most recorded strokes that the machine has so far.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you're going into your second year and you're hoping to get as good as one of the top 5 guys in your field after you graduate, after you get some entry level jobs, after you put a 20-year career in, okay, and then you're hoping that you would be good enough and disciplined enough to get that gig. Well, why would a game developer go and hire you to develop you, or even hire the guys that you're striving to get into in 20 years when I can put all 5 of their names in a prompt, put the description of the thing I want? I got all 5 of them working for me right now, and it will spit something out better than anything you will ever do in your particular field with your particular style of rendering if you work your whole life, and it's getting twice as smart every 2 months. So why would you go back for that third year? So now you're going to get those guys are going to drop out, and you might say, well, it's because of the arts. Yeah, but if there's no money at the end of the tunnel, then there's no driver to keep going. So those programs wash out. The people teaching those programs wash out. The literal Photoshop killed itself by because who's going to pay for Photoshop? That's
Yeah,
like going to
see,
Midjourney and
Photoshop had
everyone
been
else you
working on
sold
it.
this information to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Photoshop has been working on it and working on it and trying to get it all right. And then these dudes just came up and swagger jacked it right out from under them. You know?
Like, thanks for developing that for us, boss. We're good.
Yeah, colleges, man, they got to figure some. They're gonna have to sell some bullshit, dude, over the next 2 or 3 years, definitely.
I mean, colleges are essentially, from what I can tell, adult daycares at this point. Like, I have nephews and some nieces going to college now, and it's like the rec centers are gigantic. They got 7 foot story rock climbing walls. They got a lazy river at some of these fucking places. Like, it's crazy, dude. Like, this is about going in and getting yourself educated. You know what I mean? This isn't about hanging out, taking 3 classes a week. Like, what is going on, dude? Like, maybe like I worked a little construction, and because my parents or my family's a lot of blue collar people, and one of the old guys there was like, "You need to go to college," and I'm like, "Well, you guys didn't go to college. You don't make good money." And he's like, "No, you got to go get socialized. People hear the way I talk, and they just look down on me. You go there, you get socialized, talk to people your age, talk about bigger things." So maybe the socialization of being in a group, it will help you, but I don't see, man, I just don't see the value
I
of
don't
it
even know that
anymore.
it's socialization because they don't allow any conflict anymore. No argument is frowned upon because you don't want to scare anybody. You know, I'm ready to bang heads. You know what I mean?
So you're big scared of it though, because when we were in this chat, everyone was saying that you were overreacting because you told one of your friends that if he was going to use that program, you'll still be his friend, but you ain't gonna ever do any work for him or be around him again. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
right?
like, yeah, like what's the point, right? Is that the wrong take to have?
I think he's on a whirlwind about it because he's like trying to figure out if you're being serious. Like I said, it's just I pity the fool. That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
It's not. I'm
I
not
don't,
mad. You
I
know,
don't know.
I'm
So,
not
I mean, it
mad.
was, showed me some art that was AI generated. My first reaction is, oh, well then, what the fuck do you need me for? But I don't know that he was ready for that kind of commitment from himself. That is right. Um, do I really feel that way? I don't know. I really hadn't thought about it. Like I've known, like I've been watching Scott Adams regularly, and he's been going fucking on and on. Um, but I guess it's here. He said it was coming, and it's gonna come faster than you fucking realized. And sure enough, here it is, dude. Everybody's screaming and crying about it. Um, it,
I don't get the fighting against it. I'm not critiquing your thing.
yeah.
I do have my own personal take, but I don't get like the public displays of shock. Like, this is horrific. Kim Jong Gi, this thing made of Kim Jong Gi. I don't get the like everyone saying I'll blackball you if you use this program. I'll do this. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Whatever.
I look at it as like
I
if
mean,
you,
I'm not going to use it. I'm never going to use it. But I can see some kid being excited about it that doesn't know the current conversation in comics, firing it up and thinking they're doing something cool.
yeah.
And I don't hold that against them. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, no, no. I don't think he. My the point of the whole thing with that was I was like, oh, have you like really thought about this? And clearly, I don't think he had. He said he hadn't. So you know, I hurt his feelings, which I regret. But it's a conversation that needs to be had. Shit, I'm the one. I'm the fucking artist. He's the writer. Uh,
Like,
it's gonna be you too, buddy. You know, like what are we doing here?
what I it'd be like walking up to I don't know, what's a good example? Like, you walk up to the GM factory line and you show one of those big robot arms that's picking up the shells of those cars and drilling them, zip, zip, zip. And then the boss walking in and going like, "Isn't that cool, guys? That's pretty neat, huh? I just bought one to check it out." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, and you want everyone in the fucking on the assembly line to clap. as they see their livelihood, their father's occupation, their the thing that puts bread and butter on the table, as you see it going zip 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 zip. Like, don't worry, we're just renting it for a little while to see how it goes. Okay, let me just put my thumb up my ass and go take a lunch.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know
your
what I
wife
mean?
showing up at home with a big fucking muscly athlete. Well, look what I found. Don't worry, honey.
Oh, he's cutting the yard too, and he changed the tire for me
Yeah.
on the way home. Don't worry about this. You just keep sitting there watching YouTube on the couch. We're gonna go hang out here. He wants to go on a walk. All the things you don't want to do.
Yeah, all the shit you don't want to do. So yeah, I mean that's what I got. The
And
hardcore initial
the
reaction.
more that story is, but don't worry, he's not fucking me yet. But don't worry, these things are gonna
Fuck.
fuck you soon. I mean, we got the writings on the wall. He's gonna be fucking you soon.
Yeah,
Just like this AI program. When your buddy pulls it up and says, "Look at this. This is pretty neat, huh?
yeah. Look what I
Look,
drew.
look what I drew today."
I mean, it makes you definitely makes me anyway. Like, well, I guess I'll be writing my own shit too. I was down to collaborate. It's gonna be fun. I like the collaborative process in comics, right?
No, no, no. Like what? I just wonder, like comic book writers are here. Okay, if all comic book writers one day said, "Okay, I'm going to draw comics myself," the comic book industry would collapse. If all comic book artists did that, comic industry would be just fine. So who needs who? We just say I'm writing, drawing my own stories. Who needs who here? So you keep dicking around with that AI, and I'm gonna start thinking. I think you just kind of plot stuff and all the character moments, all the acting, all the lighting, all the emotion, all the perspective, all the final decision making, the choreography, the costume design, the ability for these characters to act. That comes from me, not from your writing, bro. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this myself now. I think the divide will grow, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, how is that not the reaction? Like, how is that not the reaction to have? Seriously. Like, what's the proper reaction?
Well, that's pretty cool. I guess say oh, that's really cool. I'm glad you spit something out that everyone else can spit out instantly. Why'd you show this to me again?
Unless, I mean, it just it read as a threat immediately. You know, what,
Yeah.
and I know based on conversation that he 100% did not mean it that way.
No, he walked up and threatened you.
You think so?
100%.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He said, check this out. It's an open threat.
So, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, you got that thing, so go do that thing. Just don't be mad at me.
No, just don't ever talk to me again. You know what I mean? I'm not mad. Just I don't ever want to speak to you again. That's the part he couldn't handle. It's like, I'm not mad about it. Just don't ever fucking talk to me again. That's the part where he couldn't figure out what's going on.
But I ain't like that.
No, that's being ugly, and we don't like being ugly
Mm-mm.
on your podcast.
No, I still would love to work with this person again. Like legit. Swear to God.
Oh, a little tell there. You've worked with him before. You said again.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But I'm done, dude. I just got fired. It's like when you know you're fired before your boss knows you're fired. That's what that was. That's all that moment was.
Okay, would you do this?
Hmm.
If the machine can take your line art and just color it masterfully, if you put it in by clicking a button,
Well, Clip Studio
would
can
you
can
outsource the coloring?
is starting to do that, right? Um, would I outsource it? I mean, here my
I mean,
take is I
the
don't.
click of a
Go ahead.
no. I mean, you got the gist of it. You got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, no, because I'm like I said. What's the point at that point, right? It's why I still don't use SketchUp. You know, when I'd say I don't know how many people you think use SketchUp. What percentage? Probably
How many
60,
people use?
70, 60, 70% use SketchUp now.
Nah, not that high.
You don't think it's that high?
I think the people that do it, I think people that do it almost use it for everything. But I don't think 60% of the artwork is. I think you could use it for how many? Dabble in it, like get a car from the right angle or something, and use that as reference, possibly. But producing 80% of their work, I think probably only 20%. Producing, using it for some kind of reference every now and then, maybe 70%.
Like I use it,
But
right?
I like cartooning. You can
Yeah,
use it for reference because you can take a bottle and turn it
correct.
around if you don't got that bottle. But I cartoon it and draw it by hand and do what I want. I don't I don't screen cap it and trace it. But I say 20% possibly use Poser and those kind of programs and screen cap and trace. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. We'd have to like pull a selection of books to see, like get a real read. I feel like it's higher. And you know, like what they were showing, like a couple of younger dudes from the Kubert school, and that's like they're all
Now
using that
you know
shit,
why
right?
it's not higher.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you know why it's not higher because the majority of comic books don't. They're just kind of cartooned poorly. I would still put the majority of comic books are cartooned poorly, not that they are over referenced. That's why. I still think it's 60-70% over referenced. Under referenced, poorly drawn is probably the majority of all. Not the top comic books, but like grab them all and look at them. They're not overly zines, lower tier Kickstarters, all that stuff included. But there's probably 70% not drawn up to professional standard versus 70% all stiff and very much robotic. You know what I mean? That's as a generalization, I would say 20%. But when you get into the published people, where it gets kind of this, they turn into like draftsmen instead of cartoonists because they're all trying to get more polished and all trying to outdo each other. That gets a higher percentage of the SketchUp people, I think.
Yeah,
The right.
you're starting to see that, I think. And
Yeah.
and
I mean, a
at
big
first
one.
it
I mean,
looks really good, right? And then you see it over the course of like the last 4 or 5 years. It's like devolving, and those dudes are all so similar all of a sudden. Gets homogenized real
I
quick.
mean, I think a good example is how cartoony Joe Quesada used to be on his Daredevil stuff, and um, it was Ash, some of the other stuff he did, and then now that he's doing like one-off illustrations, a lot of times those feel very mechanical, and I feel like his cities and maybe his cars and his weapons some kind look SketchUpy to me. I mean, that might not be the program he's using, but they feel too perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Even Travis Charest,
Michael
like
Golden is the gold standard, dude. He's like excellent draftsman and still cartoons the fuck out of stuff. The
I
vehicles
mean,
and all.
that's why also on that tree, Art Adams. Art Adams, he can ink, he can keep all the volume, he understands all the dimensions, he puts them in grounded realities with correct perspective, but he keeps the cartooniness. And then he goes into the inking and he's inking at Brian Bolin level, but his cartooning is at Michael Golden level. Golden and Bolden is fucking, when you Golden and Bolden, you are Art Adams, bro. And I think those two mixed, he's such a rarity and seemingly only getting better with age, which is crazy. I think that's the path. Master craftsman, master cartooning rolled into one. That's why they can take his still drawings and make 3D models out of them all day. You know that they make toys out of his stuff all the time. His character sheets are amazing. If anyone wants to look those up.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're crazy good. I think that Donald DeLay guy, he was talking about how that's Art Adams is one artist he never really got into. It's a little too perfect and all that. I don't know. I disagree.
I mean, you can have the opposite and like the Sam Keith guys that are just scratchy and crazy, and it's more raw. I get that too, but there's something about craft and cartooning, the combination, that's highly attractive to me.
So you think Art Adams is better than Michael Golden?
He's the progression.
Yeah.
He's the progression of it. Yeah, I
I,
think
I don't know that
he's
I've
the
ever really
progression
considered
of
that
that.
question, but it's an interesting one to think about.
They're on the same tree. I mean, one came before the other and influenced the other. So I think innovator wise, innovator wise, Michael Golden, he started putting those manga faces on stuff, the cool cartooning. Nam is a good example of how, like, I think him at his high end or some of his GI Joe stuff. But then you get a guy who takes that as their base and then works on craft very long, and he just gets tighter and more shrink wrapped. And the pixels, you add, like, if it's a video game system, it's like he went up a generation on the pixels, which is understandable, you know.
Hmm.
But if you look at the development from Michael Golden to who came before him, there was a huge jump, right? Like it was like a it was like a PS1 to a PS3, and now Art Adams like the PS4, right? Or whatever version there currently is.
That
That's how I see it.
Nick Bradshaw fella, dude. Holy smokes, uh
He's good. He's good, but
he's
he's
like
not as a.
he's like the exact. It's so crazy that he's that exactly the same thing, you know.
I don't think I love Nick stuff. I think he's really really good, but I think that he is a um, he's not going up a level like Art Adams went up a level on Golden. I think he's a probably a little less technical. I mean, art. I mean, he's very technical. Like he's out of all the comic book artists, he's still in the 99 percentile. But Art Adams is at a different level still. So it's like me with Frank Quietly. Like I love Frank Quietly. I kind of draw with that aesthetic, but I am so far, and I think I'm one of the better detailed guys in comics, if I can humble brag. But I know that, and I think the common person might walk by and say, "This is this has the same aesthetic, so it's about the same." But I know because I've studied and been on this journey that if it's a 100-story building and I'm on the ninth floor and Chris Burnham's on the ninth floor, and Ramon Villalobos on the eighth floor, and everyone thinks, but you look up from the bottom of that building, and you might think that Quietly's right there. We're right there with them because of the angle. But if you pull back and look, he's on floor 100, and we're on floor 9 or 10. That like the skill gap between him and the next is so big, but also the only people that can see that gap
Or other
are
artists.
are the other artists.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's the same way. Like it's equivalent to like the best bakery chef in the world is making the most awesome ingredient cake, fresh fruit in it, fluffy, everything's perfect. You eat it, melts in your mouth. It's the better than sex in your mouth. It's awesome.
Whoa,
But
sex in your
but
mouth.
but it's got white icing on the outside. Perfect cream white icing. It's amazing. You go down to HEB or your local grocery store, and they also have a white icing cake. And just you look at them, you say that's the same cake, but they're not able to bite into it like the artist can and see the difference. Like you're seeing the aesthetic tick marks, you're seeing the icing. Cake isn't the icing. That'd be low level. Like it's everything else. It's the cook, it's the ingredients, it's how they're mixing them, it's what it's magic in a sense. And once you see those high end guys, they're just at a different level. I wonder if these machines, like I don't think these machines can do the polished stuff, the rendered stuff, the video game art, and a lot of the more polished comic book art. But if you put when we were trying to put line art in, guys that were driven by line art, like a Jeff Darrow or something, it was having, especially thin line art, like clean line, it was having a very hard time replicating
Yeah, but
that.
this is like, you
Matter of time, you think?
know, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. So this guy's fist is too big.
I'm just saying, not it right now. I'm not it. It ain't catching me yet. I'm out drawing this thing.
Yeah, I mean it's probably better than me, but I don't know. If you want that shit, go buy it.
I also think that comics or cartooning is a reductionist discipline.
Hmm.
Like there's a reduction from reality. Mobius said an artist encodes reality, right? It's filtering through your head, through your hand, and it's not going to be three-dimensional perfect photographs, right? It's going to be limited, just like if a child draws something, it's stick figures. But if that child draws a narrative in those stick figures, it's actually a perfect vehicle for that narrative because it's all one visual language and you can read that story. And what we're doing is reducing things to symbols through cartooning or simplification and trying to master our own language through pen and ink. And that I think communicates things better. Just like a smiley face means happy no matter where you are. A picture of your fat face smiling means, oh my God, that guy has a fat face. That's a white guy. That's this. That's this. That's this. There, you lose the information. You lose the communication because you're aware of the messenger versus being aware of the message. And I think if you see like memes that sprout out, like the NPC meme and all that stuff, the crudeness of the drawing almost makes it more.
Communicate better
It makes it a better, yeah, it makes it a better vehicle for communication, and I think that's something that
because you think it's
comic book
closer
does
to a
well.
symbol because it's already reduced. Is that
Correct.
yeah?
Yeah, yeah, it's closer to an icon, or it's less of reality. Versus if I go and take pictures, like, would you watch a movie? Would you read a comic book if it was just stills of a movie? You wouldn't. There's something wonderful about the reductionist nature of cartooning in itself. And I think that these things are getting more polished. Now, I'm not saying that this thing can't make a stick figure comic too, though, and I'm sure it can learn the
You're
inversion
a
of
doubter
reduction.
of this thing, dude. It's gonna do everything you want it to do. I guess my point is, what's the point? So it's just I'm just gonna keep doing my shit over here. That's the only answer you can do.
No, I'm gonna have two fight each other, dude. Like have them battle it out. Like make a system that keeps having it spit out a version and the other one spit out a better version and a better let it burn each other up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you could definitely. We're gonna have to turn these AIs against each other.
That's where I'm at.
It'll inevitably happen too.
Nah, they're
Hierarchy,
just
bro. It's the nature of the universe.
no, they're just gonna all jump into the same server. And that's the thing too, is once you train the AI once, just like with the cars, right? Like every individual person had to learn how to drive a car, learn from their mistakes. All my kids got to do it too. But one Tesla car on the whole network, as that's driving down the street, it's reading the street. It's not going to make the same mistake. All the new cars are uploaded with that brain. All the new cars, it's only going to get better and tighter and better and tighter. And that's what the AI is doing with the art right now. It's interesting. I don't know. But
I,
like I
sh-
said,
I
I ain't
should
scared though.
I should read the chat more. Let's see here. It's all our man Gordon Goodbrother. Ain't no money till they want to cut your budget. Come with it if you want to draw AI artists for people who play video games for the story. Low level digital design or low effort digital design. Don't worry, honey. They're not full of strokes. I guess he's talking about bringing home the muscly man. Arthur Adams is Michael Golden's son. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. He says Donald is thrown off because Adams isn't silly or elastic.
I think that's true.
And Bradshaw's in danger of getting stuck as a clone. Yeah, I think he's fine with that too. Obviously, because you don't go that far into fucking mimicking somebody unless you're okay with it. You know, like I don't think he's not had that conversation. Like you're kind of a Art Adams ripoff there, buddy. I think he's fine with it. I think people that buy it are fine with it.
I mean, you don't get Art Adams sequential comics, but you get sequential comics out of Bradshaw. You know what I mean? They're still good looking comics.
Yeah, Hey, he's good. That's all I asked for. Shit.
We called a pretty famous artist up the other night. Remember
Well, he
that?
called us. He called us.
Oh, Simon Bisley.
He called
He said
he called your
digital
boy
art had.
Phil.
Oh yeah, he said digital art has no soul. He says it's soulless.
Then
I agree.
then he hung up calling us soulless bastards.
Yeah, you can be ugly sometimes.
Yeah, he called us. He's wanting to talk to me and you, so Phil put us on. Phil's our little secretary.
He's also the guy that's been using this AI program that pissed Tommy off. Is that true or not? Nah, it's not Phil. That's a joke.
It's not true that I was pissed off. I was at that point. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it's time to have this conversation, right? I wonder if see. I don't think I don't. It makes me question if Phil actually sees himself as what he is. Like he's creeping up on being a power player, right? He's like
Is he a power player?
he's getting there, dude. I think he is, right? I think he's on his way there. And I just
No, I think he's doing the right thing. He's making the right moves.
yeah. Like I said,
Uh,
he's the most affable, likable social snake there is. And I mean that as a joke, but also, you got a network, right?
Listen, I
There
like
is
him. I
there's
like
no
Phil, and
good way to network.
I like Phil, and I hardly like anybody. So he's doing a good job on me.
Yeah, you
It's
hate
like
everyone.
it's like I told my brother-in-law. Like, how do I know I hate my brother-in-law? Because I actually like him, and he's fucking my sister. So he's doing something that I don't. You know what I mean? He's doing something that I don't know what he's doing, but something's working here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's just weird
Am I?
with when the power player drops some AI art in your lap telling you you're fucking done, bitch. I was like, oh, okay.
Say, look,
I I was just telling him what he told me.
yeah, that's right. All you did was you gave him a mirror. He said that he said, "Look, you're done," and you were said, "Hey, Phil, you're done now." And then he freaked out on you, had a fucking temper tantrum. I believe the term is panties in a wad.
Phil, do you want in here or not?
Oh, Phil wants to fight now.
No,
Bring him in.
no. Well, Joe Ball wanted in too.
Oh, do we want them in, dude? Couple of I don't know, dude.
You don't know.
I mean, we can add him in. Let's add him in. Let's add him in. Let's pepper him up.
Well, the thing is, I got to go and fucking create a new room in Skype, or I got to switch over to StreamYard. And if I do that,
Wait. You got to go. You got to go Streamyard if you do that, or no?
yeah, which would end this, so we'd have to restart a new one. Are you all right with that, or are you gonna cry and bitch and moan about it? I'll do it. I don't
I'm
care.
okay, but I can tell you Skype has gotten my battery up to 13% with holding the power in. StreamYard sometimes plummets, but 13% with it plugged in will work for a while. We can restart.
But
Restart StreamYard.
nah, Phil says he's at work. He's not here to defend himself. I'm ready to burn this motherfucker down.
Snaked out. Big scared. Is that too noisy? That wind?
Nah. Smoking.
So add Joe Ball. Get Joe Ball.
He said he wasn't gonna install Skype. He's no boomer. That's what he said.
StreamYard burns the power out of your devices. You can't even charge them as fast as they drain. It's crazy. This iPad gets hot when StreamYard fires up. It's not a productive use of energy.
Between prompting AI art and working the arcade and shipping books, dude, Phil ain't got no time to come in here.
I'd make excuses too if I was him. Let's just stay out of this, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, get in here and look me in my wide set eyes.
If you put your eyes on Phil's head, your eyes would be further out than his sideburns. Prompt that in your AI, Phil. See what it generates.
Nah, see, I don't want you going and feeding my copyrighted face into AI. Don't be doing that. That's a lawsuit right there, straight up.
We didn't go down that conversation. They're lifting people's styles, dude, things they developed and programmed. Like, man, that's tough. That's tough. You're gonna get to produce a comic book in Bill Sienkiewicz's name, without using his name. But you cannot get that. You cannot get that result without putting his name, that's his name into your machine.
So you think even the use of the name should be
the use of
off
the name,
limits?
The use of the name, like put it in, but don't use my name. Don't use stuff that other companies have published. Don't like Logan's trademark, Captain America. Make it produce a Superman drawing without writing Superman in it. Make it produce it without writing the Superman artist you're trying to rip off, and see what happens. You'll be sitting there. You know what you'll start doing? You'll pull a pen and pad out and start drawing again. You're like, I guess I got to draw this myself.
It's the NEET generation. No education, employment, or training. They want to throw them tendies in the microwave, push a few buttons.
Oh, how many people are going to grift it? How many people can grift their parents now? Like, this is the actual people, the grifters, dude. The grifters is who's going to. No, because like those kids that go to college but don't actually go to college for 3 years.
Yeah.
And you could say, yeah, I'm going to the Ringling School. I'm going to the Kubert School. You could send back that art to your folks and be like, I made this, dude. The grift, you can extend a grift for 10, 15 years now. Before you have to kill your parents, because that's what they always do. They come home and kill their parents.
Oh, dude, I've been watching so many of those shows where they end up killing them. It's crazy. The dude up in Canada, the guy up in Canada that did it, is that the one you're talking about?
There's been like 15, 20 of them.
Holy shit, dude!
It's usually a young male come back and kill their whole family after a while. After they're like, hey, you got to right around graduation time. It's about time to kill the folks. No
dude.
more, like,
every graduation,
they've been firing down. They've been firing down tendies and fucking playing video games for 6 years because they went and got the masters too. Maybe parents been feeding them money, but now you can show them results, dude. Just fire up that Midjourney and show them the results. They'll be showing all their friends off how good they are. Show to their church folks, and then you come back. I'm saying that Midjourney might extend the life of quite a few family members.
You have the uncle saying, that damn Phil boy, he can work at fucking them paints.
Yeah, he can something else.
Yeah, that boy's good.
Yeah, it'll extend the grift. Yeah, it's probably going to save a few lives. Actually, you can make that grift for 15 years, and then you then you can get into an industry with that portfolio that you generated the night before graduation. You know what I mean? Generate that thing the night before graduation.
Well, see, they're gonna have. I guarantee you, there's gonna be within the next year, they're gonna be laws brought to the House floor on all this stuff because too much, too fast, like school reports, book reports, all that shit.
Genie out the bottle, bro. Genie out of the bottle.
It's already out the bottle, so I don't know. Like that's what's so stupid about. Yeah, we're not talking politics anymore. Everybody knows they're fucking idiots. It's their job to think about this shit before we do, and clearly they haven't. Stupid idiots.
Was it China that's going to try to crack down on AI art? They might have a chance.
I should say that I always catch myself doing this, I realize. It's all by design, so of course they're not going to do anything. I wonder how kiosk has, or the apps like the online ordering apps for fast food. I wonder how much that has fucked up those people that were always trying to get free food by saying, "No, you got my order wrong." It's like, bitch, you typed it in.
I think I don't know, man. You might just have to subvert all of society. Just start grifting everybody, putting those orders that you don't have to pay till you get there. Just pick it up and walk out. They can't stop you. It's a misdemeanor if they did. The cop gets paid more to show up than you do than it costs to do it. You know, just subvert everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We hadn't even gotten into like really talking about the playing out all the scenarios that are going to come. We've kind of been like helter skelter talking about this, but dude, just everything that's going to, all the fallout from this.
Well, it's making motion graphics now, right?
Yes.
Like you've seen, I don't know if you've seen the video of they typed like woman jogging on the beach and it's rendering it and it looks perfect. So if you can do that, tie it up with the original story prompt, tie it up with a style you like, Pixar, tie it with directors you like, and it has all that information uploaded, all the story beats, everything that you need. You will now have custom created media for you, only for you, right? Like the veil between reality and what is in your mind is going to get really thin really quick.
It's like you,
That already happens when you do drugs. So with
right?
the legalization of drugs and that combined in society, we're gonna be a bunch of vegged out potatoes just sending each other like random fucking movies that we made. Dude, the movie industry would be put out of business too. Like if it can do full on Pixar, why would they pay 50,000 people to animate a movie for 3 years if this thing can generate the same style that's coming out in these stills right now? That's gonna happen. It's over.
Yeah, yeah. We're all. It's all this stuff's within 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's happening that fast now. Sheila Aliens, I saw her tweet about like, oh, well, what about these weirdos that are into child porn? Like, what about whenever they start having AI child porn? Are we just gonna let them because is that gonna protect actual child porn from being made because they can get their fix from that? No, you nuke those motherfuckers from orbit. Is what you do. You don't placate to a fucking pedophile.
Everything is everything's a ghost until it becomes a monster. An idea,
The
a
Golem
memory
of
you had,
Prague, dude.
a memory you had, a thought you have, a doubt you have, that will manifest itself. You know, look at the expose yourself, like desensitize yourself to violence, and then that violence will manifest itself, and you won't flinch, and then it's going to be something more violent that'll get you to flinch.
Yep.
It's all like
Like in big
the
cities right now.
idea. Yeah, it's like it'll just keep. It's almost like ghosts turn into monsters, dude. Those little ideas, those little things. I know I'm not articulating it well, but the self doubt, that bad memory you have that's haunting you, the good memory you have manifests itself into something good. But
Might
your
help
self
though.
doubt,
You might be able to like AI the trauma, go back and whoop your abuser's ass via AI. You know what I mean? In VR. So it might help with some trauma, maybe, or
you know,
it's just gonna cause more. I think. Yeah. People think they want to see something until they see it. I remember the early days of the internet, man, seeing people get killed and shit, or renting those Faces of Death movies. Like, how crazy is it that as wild as those Faces of Death movies were when we were little? I mean, that's just you,
I can't watch that. My
dude. You can
stomach
just
drops
do a
out when I
search
see
on
like
Twitter and get all that. It's crazy to me.
I can't watch that stuff. I can't even watch like I just stopped watching Tosh Point oh because like they'd have like bad accidents. Where saw one where a guy jumped his bike into a creek,
Yeah,
but it was really shallow, and he and he got up out of the creek and his leg was like hanging off at his shin. I'm like,
Mm.
oh God, I can't watch this. And he kept showing more extreme injuries, and I'm like, I can't do this, dude. My fucking guts drop out when I see that stuff. Can't handle it. Or you always got your edgelord friends that'll send you like a car accident picture or something. I'm like, dude, just block that, dude. I'm like, I cannot see this stuff, dude. It's not for me.
Yeah, we had a guy at the sign shop that was always coming in trying to show me some crazy shit. It was either a car accident or some redneck getting his dick sucked by a catfish in the water. He just thought it was the funniest shit he'd
The,
ever seen.
the craziest thing is when they show it to you, like, all I can think, it's not even the picture, which is terrible, but like the gleefulness of the person showing you.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
what do you think? You think I'm gonna be into this shit, dude? Why you showing me this? You know what I mean? Like, it like makes me angry, dude. I'm like, why did you do that? What you like? You traumatized me, and you're sitting there gleefully waiting for my reaction. You know, like that. Like, I would get furious with those people.
Joe Ball's coming at us hard in the chat right now. He wanted to
I'm all
come in,
scared.
even though he hates talking about it. He's wanting to come in. Why suffer, Joe? Why suffer? Chill out, Rob. Yeah, after talking with those dudes for like a day and a half about it, talking with you 2 or 3 times about it, I'm over it. Maybe Joe Ball's right, dude. Maybe it's just a fad. I just, like I said, my theory on that, it being a fad, is uh, the powers that be, the businessmen, they want to replace us with AI. Just like George Lucas said, he'd love for all actors to be digital.
Well, Bruce Willis he just signed to inked a deal where he gets to act forever. He sold his likeness to be replicated in 3D. He ain't ever going away now.
What are we going to do? Who was the guy that you said put out the tweet that if he got one whiff of you doing AI art, he was going to blacklist you?
Oh, John Moysen. He's the editor, so I like that he's protecting work for hires, but I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I've worked with John before. He's nice. You just have an emotional reaction to it, though.
Mm-hmm. Like I did with Philip.
I was just say like Phil did with you. That was Phil's face when he was showing us the AI art. It was the same face that guys when people show me a car wreck picture or something has on their face, kind of gleefully showing it to you. Disgusting, Phil.
I think there's already been an AI comic. I'm pretty sure somebody's already done one.
Yeah, I'm friends with the guys who made one.
All right. Hey, let's end this, and I'll call you back in like 15 minutes, and we'll start up a new one.
You bring Joe Ball in or what?
Yeah. And Phil can pop in and out whenever he's up there not working at his job.
All right, it'll give me a chance to let it charge.
All right.
All right, call me back 15. Bye.
All right, bye. We'll be back, guys.